The best I can tell you is that the Secretary's Chief of Staff was ill with the flu, which affected the notification timelines. Again, we're going back now and looking at the processes and procedures, as I mentioned, to include both White House and congressional notifications to ensure that we can improve those processes.
So now the Pentagon's still struggling to come up with an answer to explain the failure to promptly notify the White House and Congress about the extended hospitalization of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, keeping everyone in the dark for days. Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker is the ranking Republican on the Armed Services Committee. Sir, thank you for your time. Good morning to you.
Good to see you.
Chief of Staff had the flu. I guess we're peeling it away. The president was asked about this yesterday. Didn't get much of an answer. Just roll this clip here.
Are you still confident in Secretary Austin, sir?
A little hard to hear. Charleston, South Carolina. Sir, what do you make of this? What is the explanation that would suffice?
Well, that was a little hard to hear, and a siren just went by on Constitution Avenue. So, yes, let me just say that the administration still does not understand that this story is not going to go away. And they might as well come clean and tell everything that happened and everything they know. At least we know that the staff member had the flu. We don't even know how seriously ill the Secretary of Defense continues to be. I'm told that today he's not in ICU anymore, so that's good news, and we all wish the Secretary well. But this is an indictment of the administration's attitude toward public disclosure and toward full transparency. It's not going to go away. They have now commissioned a 30-day internal review. That is not going to be adequate. If we want to have a review, it needs to be done by an outside inspector general, and then they're going to have to come before the Congress for a hearing.
Like, it shouldn't take 30 days, right? If I were the president, I would say, hey, okay, as soon as you're better, come to my office at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. I'll see you there, and then I'll see you out. Because
that's right.
This, to me, shows a complete disregard for the commander-in-chief, and also an incredible lack of judgment, not just by the Secretary of Defense, but by the deputy, by his chief of staff, and everybody else involved. This doesn't take 30 days to figure out.
Not to mention a disrespect for the law of the land. This was a violation of a very specific statute. And something I noticed in the press reports yesterday is someone within the hierarchy there in the Pentagon said, this happens every so often, where the power is transferred from the secretary to the deputy secretary. If that happens, the statute kicks in, and not only do you have to tell the president and people up and down the chain, but there's a specific statute that says you have to tell the Congress, the Republican and Democratic leaders of both houses. So I'm concerned about this, and the statute is not a suggestion. This is the law of the land passed by the Congress and signed by the president.
And Senator, this is not just
going to continue to be an issue.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but with the time that we have, this is not just a Republican concern. You've heard from your colleagues on the other side of the aisle voicing something similar?
Well, yes. What I'd like to hear, though, from the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee is that he's going to have a public hearing. That's something that I cannot do as ranking member. Only the majority can do that. I certainly hope that the Republicans in charge of the House Armed Services Committee will hold a hearing very soon. But there's just a lot we need to know, and frankly, there's a lot that our enemies are noticing about our lackadaisical attitude toward the chain of command and toward having gaps in the authority.
Senator, thank you for coming on today, and I think you make a great point. And we haven't even been told whether or not he's healthy. Even that is elusive right now.
I can't find anyone to tell me what was wrong and how ill he was.
Yeah,
was he sedated? Was he was he unconscious? Was he given some memory altering medication during this procedure? There's just a lot we need to know, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah.